Hey, how's it going, YouTube? If you would for me, please like, comment, subscribe on the video. I have some other stuff coming out as well too. Um, the movie we'll be talking about here uh, is Oppenheimer, written and directed by the man himself, the legend himself, Christopher Nolan. Now, I've seen a pretty good chunk of Christopher Nolan's movies, but by this point, I think the only one I haven't really seen was Dunkirk, and I was gonna try and make it a mission to go see that one too. But I've pretty much seen all this man's other movies. Phenomenal director, really good visually, really phenomenal film writer too, screenwriter. So he actually, I'm sorry, I didn't even start the trailer. I didn't even start the trailer. So, so he did write and direct this, if I believe, because normally Christopher Nolan has his brother on his project sometimes, Jonathan Nolan. And rumor, from what I believe too, Hans Zimmer didn't actually do the score to this movie, although it does kind of sound like he has something to do with the score. Uh, so this is definitely his. I think one of his most ambitious movies yet, to be honest with you. Because usually he does things about time and time inversion, uh, stuff like that. So, in a way, this kind of has that theme a little bit to it. So, this is so. Let me just put it to you like this: this is a really star-studded cast. It's gonna take me a while. It might make this video way longer if I go down the cast list, but um, it's gonna be pretty much spot the A-lister when you watch this movie. There's so many A-list actors in this. You got Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, who plays J. Robert Oppenheimer himself. You got Robert Downey Jr., who I thought was really unrecognizable in the trailer and in the movie too. But he plays General Strauss. General Strauss. And so pretty much this is a movie about Robert, or I keep want to call him Robert J. Oppenheimer. It's J. Robert Oppenheimer. And he's basically building the atomic bomb. I mean, he's the father of the atomic bomb. So this is based on this is like a historical, this is historically based pretty much. Now this takes place during the Soviet Union, basically back in the 1940s, the early 1940s, going all the way until the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And I believe the bombing of Pearl Harbor was in the late 40s. And so the government basically brings in J. Robert Oppenheimer to, and they basically know he's like really good at nuclear fission and all that other stuff. So they basically bring him in to build a weapon to go up against basically to counteract the Germans, pretty much the Nazis. So, and the thing I like about this movie is it talks a lot about how basically a lot of this is, and honestly, if what I tell you is appealing, because it's basically it's a movie about how he's dealing with the atomic bomb, how his morality, and how he goes back and forth between his morality of building this bomb and the type of damage and destruction it'll do, the many lives it'll take. So that's what pretty much a lot of this movie is. Like in a big way, it's a character study of J. Robert Oppenheimer, and how he basically dealt with it. So you're not gonna really see a whole lot of action. Uh, you're not going to see too many war battles in here, like the actual wars that were fought back then. The Soviet Union, because a lot of this does even deal with people who were. There's the fear of communism, basically. Defectors for the Soviet Union spies. This is pretty much all that. Say this takes place back in the 1940s. So here's my thing with the movie, because I really like the dialogue in this movie. This movie is really well done. Like this, usually Christopher Nolan, he'll hit you with a bunch of, he'll do some story and stuff like that too, and sometimes the stories will be out of order, but he'll hit you with a lot of spectacle. That's usually what his whole thing is too, is spectacle. You look at Inception, and you see how like the whole thing with the city tilting and bending and stuff like that. So he mixes a little CG in with his stuff at times, but for most of the time, his effects are very practical, and the effects are practical in here too. When you see like the bombs blowing up and exploding, I watched a thing where it said that those are real explosions. He had everybody get far away, but those are real explosions. So like a lot of his stuff is practical. That's one thing I like about him as a director, is he barely uses CG, if any at all at times. Even the prosthetics on the actors, I think, look really good. He made Cillian Murphy look a lot older than what he actually is. And then, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. is phenomenal in this. Like he made Robert Downey Jr. look unrecognizable in here. Like when I saw the trailer, I didn't even know that was Robert Downey Jr. I didn't even know he was in the movie until way later, when I kind of looked over some stuff and I saw he was in it. So it's a really good job on that. So here's my thing with Oppenheimer. It is a 3-hour long movie. This movie's 3 hours long. Okay. So you're going to get nothing but board meetings talking about building this bomb. You're going to get classes about people sitting down talking about building this bomb. And like I said, you're not going to really see the reenactments of like the bombs being set off, especially the bomb being set off in, inevitably being set off in Japan. I think in the movie they said they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, but you're not going to get that. You're not going to really even, to be real honest with you, you're not going to see a lot of that. They're going to be mostly sitting around, again, talking about building the bomb, and the effect it's going to have on people. And then you're going to see, Oppenheimer's like accomplishments and things of that nature. So this is a very dialogue heavy film. Like this is damn near like, I think, 3 hours worth of dialogue in this movie. So with really good filming, really good acting. Like I said, Matt Damon is flawless in this movie too. Everybody across the board is really good in this. Emily Blunt, as Oppenheimer's wife, is really good in here. Florence Pugh, she's in here. She plays his mistress. And there's a whole backstory with her too, that gets revealed in the movie. Like I said, this movie is amazing. Like this, oh my god, like this is a really good movie, y'all. This is good. Like I said, it's not going to be for everybody if you're not a dialogue heavy person, but the dialogue in here is really interesting. Like you learn like a whole bunch of stuff about everybody, and then like it's just, oh, this movie's good. Like there's like a little investigative like board meeting that they have with Oppenheimer. So the movie kind of hops back. It talks about like and that's the time thing I said that Christopher Nolan does in his movies. I think is really cool in here because there's certain time periods they show. There's a certain time period where the whole movie's in black and white, so you know you're in one time period. But then like when it's in regular color, like it's in color, you know you're like in the present, like what's happening presently versus what happened in the past. Um, so I really did enjoy that too. Christopher Nolan does like those little camera tricks and stuff like that too. So I really did like that. Um, but yeah, this is I think this might be one of Chris, if not, might be Christopher Nolan's best film. Uh, and honestly, if I had did like a top 10 list back then of movies I really liked in 2023, this would be up there. This is just really good filmmaking. This is class. This is like uh, top class, like master class, like screenwriting right here too. And like I said, and this is just with dialogue. I sat there for 3 hours watching this, and I never got bored. I got engaged the entire time these actors were talking because I wanted to know what they were talking about, what was going to happen. I'm not going to give too much away if you haven't seen the movie, but it's very good. Like I said, all these actors are good. Um, Again, like I said, a huge list of A-listers. You probably see a couple in the trailer, but there's a bunch. There's a bunch more in the movie that they're not even showing, and you'll recognize everybody when you see them because I was pointing out actors left and right in here. There's so many big actors in this. Um, Even actors I haven't even seen in a while, they show up in here, and I'm like, I know who that is. I haven't seen them in a long time. But yeah, Christopher Nolan. Uh, yeah, this dude, like, I, I, uh, I know I sound like a fanboy. I think I am. I might be a Christopher Nolan stan, to be honest with you, but yeah, this dude is just a really good filmmaker. Like, if you ever want to see how films are done, watch a Christopher Nolan movie. I really think this is. I know people are divided on Tenet and Interstellar. I love those movies too, but I think this honestly is probably his best film that I've seen recently. So I see why he won Best Director for this too. So because I know this was like part of that whole Barbenheimer phenomenon where this and Barbie came out, and they in a sense saved the theaters with how much money they both made because they both destroyed the box office. Like they Barbie and this went in and handled business. So I think these were the two highest grossing films of the summer. So because even as good as people said that Mission Impossible movie was last year, it didn't do that well, compared to this and Barbie. And these weren't even blockbusters. Barbie and Barbie and Oppenheimer are two movies you would never think would be the highest grossing movies in the theater. I mean, this is literally a bunch of men sitting around talking about creating an atomic bomb. That's pretty much what this movie is. That and how again, like I said, how Oppenheimer is dealing with the guilt of putting this thing together and how many lives it takes. And I think Christopher Nolan does a really good job of doing that because he's really good at putting characters together. So it didn't really like it. I already knew the characters was gonna be well developed. They're well rounded. So this isn't really. It's not really heavy on story, but like I said again, this is talking about like a historical type story. So like when it comes to historical stuff, I really don't look forward to story too much. I just look at it as like a learning experience, and I felt like I did learn a good amount with this. So, no, I've yeah, about 15 minutes of this. Yeah, definitely. Y'all should go see this one. I think you already know I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this a high recommend. This is a high recommend, y'all. This is a damn near flawless movie, I think. The only complaint like I said, I have is it is a 3 hour long dialogue heavy movie. So if that doesn't sound like something you're going to get into, I would probably skip this one. I would definitely skip because you're going to be sitting there for 3 hours, like I said, and it's just going to be people. It's going to be dialogue. I think it's really good dialogue, and it's actually interesting dialogue. But a lot of people I know don't get into that. You want something to happen. Uh, so, uh, definitely. Like I said, high recommend for Oppenheimer, and that is my review for Oppenheimer. What did y'all think about it? Just go ahead and comment in the comment section. Tell me what y'all thought about it, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.